So the coaching, the way they set up their teams is very, very different than something you would see at somewhere traditional. You know, it's a lot more flexible, it's a lot more open, it's a lot more allowing for those different options, like running this Isabel out here that we've got. We don't see a ton of Isabels normally in these collegiate tournaments, but here we get to see an amazing play. We actually get to see 2 Isabel players because Dak just got that dog in them.
They really do, and right now they're struggling a bit, though, because Noodle is moving right now for the University of Illinois. The Fighting Illini are going to take the opening stock. That's Noodle stepping in on the Wii Fit with nearly, I believe it was a 0 to death, and they are already cooking here on this second stock. 69% already dealt to Transdream, and now maybe this one will connect. Good pocket in the last second there. Even though they're facing the wrong way, that pocket will still work out for them. Lloyd Rocket will not be able to connect, but this Wii Fit putting in work right now.
Yeah, Noodle chasing them down, not allowing Transdream try to set themselves up in any way, shape, or form, not allowing them to get those, huge Lloyds out, get any sort of, the fishing pole. They're making sure to close this space quick and not give Transdream any options. They receive, fishing pole comes out, and once you've gotten that grab, there's so many different follow-up options for Isabel. But Noodle's just not allowing any of them to come out here. Great juggle, keeping Transdream in the air. She's having such a hard time getting back down. And now Salute the Sun comes out, off stage, soccer ball, not gonna be able to find anything but taking it down. Those low recoveries, so risky on Isabel. It's because they're so predictable.
Wants the spike down to 1 balloon, won't be able to find it. 126 though, gotta feel like this stock might be working on borrowed time, and there it is. The Nair into the forward air, and down goes Transdream, and Noodle starts off the day for the hometown team with a 3 stock at that.
Starting it off quickly, starting it off strongly. You always want to set that pace as quick as possible, as clean as possible. And there, starting it off wonderfully clean. Running it right through. Not too much percentage given, not too many opportunities given. I think they did a really good job of recognizing, what they're going up against in Isabel, the problems they're going to face, and just immediately running that matchup information, through the Smash computer in their brain, figuring out, okay, cool, let's play it close, let's play it fast. No setups, no chances to find those Isabel grabs and punishes. And with that, we send them on through, baby.
Yeah, and Noodle getting that 3 stock, just like you mentioned, looked fantastic. Had a very clear kind of game plan coming in and was able to execute off the back of it. We saw most of what they wanted to land connect, right? Things like the falling Nair, the bread and butter for Wii Fit. That's one of the weird things, right? Wii Fit feels like a very kind of I'm struggling to find a descriptor here, but right, with all those awkward hitboxes that all still are able to link together, it's a very dangerous character because that damage output can just quickly swing, almost like what we saw with Dice's Falco, right? Just very quickly, that percentage can go from 0 to 60 in seemingly 1 interaction.
Yeah, I mean, they pack a lot of power and they pack a lot of follow-up options is the big thing there. Can you keep the juggle going? Can you keep the combo going? Yes, they can, and especially when you find, those deep breathings, you get that crit percent up, you get that power up, you can really just start adding it on and rolling it through with very, very little that can hold you back because they cover a surprising amount of range in all of their attacks as well.
And we didn't see a ton of the deep breathing, but it also wasn't necessarily needed, right? They were very aggressive. They didn't, spend a lot of time getting that deep breathing online or, threatening that neutral B at all. It was, outside of the 1 pocket that was really thrown out, I don't think Salute the Sun was really that frequently used. I believe we saw Sideshow locked in as that second name for the side of Dak, and for Sideshow, they've typically mained the Jigglypuff over their time at in the collegiate scenes, and that's what we'll be seeing here for this second round. Puff versus Wii Fit feels honestly very rough. How does Puff get through the projectiles that Wii Fit brings to the table, and how does Puff not die so early with all the damage output that Wii Fit can put on?
I think we just need to see what Noodle turned last time. Get in quick, don't allow any of these setups, don't allow any of these punish states. At the end of the day, it all comes through closing the distance and winning that neutral interaction. I think we really need to see Sideshow committing to a lot of these lower commitment options, trying to bait out something a little bit slower from this Wii Fit trainer, and then running the punish game more than anything else.
Gotta be
there. Noodle really kind of exploiting the lightweight and the floatiness of this Puff.
Yeah, got to be very careful here if you're Puff, right? Puff is one of the bottom or top 3 in terms of light characters in this game. They die very early, and also characters like Wii Fit, they do a surprising amount of shield pressure too, and against Puff, that is really rough. But oh my mercy, Sideshow saying, no, you don't get away with some of these untrue combos. I've got the rest trump card, and that will take one stock off of Noodle.
Yeah, talk about punishing aggression. That is the ultimate, flip the table, turn it back on you. The tables have turned, indeed. Now, though, Puff just continuing to get bullied with that lightweight, that float, that circle hitbox. It's a lot bigger than it really feels like it should be on Puff a whole lot of the time. Makes it really easy for stuff to connect, especially with those wide Wii Fit trainer abilities. The thing that I will say with Puff, though, that I think they take away from a Wii Fit trainer is the ability to really kind of run off the edge of the stage and just hang out there with the soccer ball, We see a lot of Wii Fits wanting to just play on the stage, use their deep breathing, use the soccer ball, use the salute the sun. You really can't do that against a character that can float as well as Puff can, though. Yeah,
Puff airspeed is very, very notable, and it's very, very fast. It's very hard for Noodle to deal with. But Noodle, they've got the disjoints, they've got the reads right now, and they've got the back air with Deep Breathing Online. They're able to take down Sideshow, and that is a very solid lead already built up here for the Fight in Illini.
Solid lead indeed. Not able to get, another 3 stock. They have to sit back, at least, breathing a little bit, kind of play a little bit safe, a little bit calmer. You want to stretch those stocks for as long as possible in these crew battles. They're like resource games, like StarCraft.
Yeah.
You got to hoard all of the resources and use them at the right time. Noodle there, losing one of those resources down to 14 stocks. Meanwhile, the DAC attack down to 9. Waiting on that next player now as we get set up. I have to say, I'm consistently impressed, though, with how well Noodle is recognizing matchups, and not only recognizing what to exploit for the other character's weakness, but what to use on my end to help support my strengths and avoiding what they're strong at,
Right, yeah. Right, because for the Jigglypuff matchup, for example, they want to kind of float in and use those aerials as the approach game. So it's one thing to just kind of say, okay, I'll just hold shield and kind of stall out the storm. But a lot of Puffs will then mix you up. They'll go for tomahawks and things like that. But being able to avoid those tricks has been really one of the main things in this type of gameplay from Noodle. So now we get to see potentially a full switch up here in terms of that how many kind of levels of pace do you have, because Character 3 is going to be stepping in here for Danville Area Community College, and we'll have to see how they perform.
Running right through it. We're going to be seeing Amira. She's bringing out another dog. We got more puppers. We got some very good girls here. To get moving, just setting up that. They've striked it. Just setting it back up. We'll get that countdown. Ready for it? Are they gonna do it?
Well, the crowd has been counting down the start timer in the past, but we are underway here. Ari Mira here for the Isabel for DAC, and UIUC. Noodle still dropping that opening stock earlier, but still a pretty substantial lead here for the Fight in Illini. But we'll have to see how this Isabel does this time around, because the previous Isabel got shut down very, very quickly. Also didn't have a whole lot of time to kind of set up the projectiles that Isabel likes. Villagers and Isabel like to keep their space with those aerials, but it feels like Ari Mira pretty solid grasp of the distance and what they can kind of, that kind of area, the spacing of where is safe and where is not.
Yeah, and I'm loving all of the slingshots we're seeing from them, especially on the approach. Their pocket usage has been great there, though. A great bait out from Noodle. Noodle baits out the pocket with the soccer ball, and then while the animation's still going, hits him with the sun salute. Talk about a mind game. That's some of the best, bait out that I've seen, especially in a projectile, in forever.
Very, very solid, and they're able to get a stock answered back, though, and already working on stock number 2. Jabs. That jab, I believe, is one of the fastest, if not the fastest in the game. It is so quick, and it's able to shut down a lot of these kind of pressuring shield options just as a quick get-off-me tool. Ari Mira also able to get a lot of these kind of conversions on people not being ready to take the stage on a couple of these knockdown moves, so might be able to get a little bit more follow-up off the back of it, especially if they're willing to throw out that forward smash very frequently as they have been, but they stall for a little bit too long off stage, and in comes the forward air with deep breathing online. There goes stock number 2.
Arimira, I think he's running into the problem with Wii Fit, where they just have so many options that they can stall out anything you're trying to do. You know, they can throw out those projectiles. They can really just end your aggression the moment they have a moment of space, which I think takes away so much of Arimira's game, because when we've seen her, you know, put in the pressure, get in the advantage, run the combos, they run them. They keep, you know, Noodle in those combos for the next 8 years and a day. But the moment there's a bit of space, send it away. But Soccer Ball's really good at closing that space.
Yeah, pretty good. And Arimira will be able to take down the opener Noodle for the side of UIUC. So, Danville, they're on the board, 1 down, but a lot still to go. But Arimira looking pretty strong overall, a little bit slower pace of a game, but that's kind of what you have to do when you're playing Isabelle into Wii Fit, and they were able to deal with a lot of the projectiles. Noodle did look very scary, though, for what we saw, right? Not only are they able to shut down the openers, but also things like converting back hit of Nair into back air with deep breathing online, too, so being able to buy yourself some space. They look very scary. We're going to have to make note of them later on in this bracket, but for now, Arimira, they'll be able to hold on to 1 stock remaining here, and we'll see if they can get any mileage off the back of it, as UIUC will be kind of looking through their roster right now to see who they want to send in.
Keep it alive, keep it moving. I really like to see Arimira slow it down again, moving back a little bit, just especially with the slingshot that she brings to the table. I think it provides so much value at just slow it down, wait for a big committal, because anyone's going to get frustrated eventually playing against all the projectiles, trying to get in. You know, eventually people overcommit, and then you just take them all the way through. You know, send the slingshot, send the Lloyd, send those fishing hooks once the moment they start getting a little bit too much far away. Nope, come on back, roll it through, keep the combo moving. I think the biggest thing that needs to be done with Isabelle is just exploiting that advantage for as long as possible.
And punish games on top of that too, right? Because if they're getting impatient with all the chip damage that Isabelle can put on, right? We saw how clean the conversions were off of those mistechs. You know, they get hit by the soccer ball, they get knocked down or tripped. All of a sudden, you know, they think, okay, I've got the time to either get up attack or roll, but instead, no, they just get forward smashed for it. And that's a lot of damage going against them. Isohel entering the ring for UIUC and the Fight in the Illini. Rocking the Link this time around, and this feels like a very odd matchup because Link, sword, the damage output, very, very strong. But as we've seen, Arimira can deal with those projectiles, well, relatively easily.
Yeah, I'm really interested with this one because, you know, Link obviously has that huge disjoint on the sword, but Isabelle still has a lot of stuff that can close that distance and fight with it without also exposing a hurt box. Granted, not going to get you as far, not going to get you as, you know, as much damage. You're going to have to really stack them up, but it's safer than trying to, you know, really come in and deal with one of those huge, heavy, long-range, disjointed smash attacks that Link is so strong with.
Good player on the ledge, though. Arimira doing their best to make it back to stage, but parry into up B is going to knock them down. Isohel with the quick stock off the board, and that's another member down for the DAC attack.
That is brutal. Up B, already one of the best out of shield options in the game. All 3 Links, amazing up B out of shield. And getting the parry with it, that's just ridiculous. Wow.
Yeah, just
like
wow.
that's just solid mechanics right there. Solid mechanics, solid execution, solid running them in like across the table. That's exactly how you plan that play. That's exactly how you plan it, like whiteboarded up in your brain of, you know, edge guarding.
And it's one of those things, the recognition, right? Because that up B, right, it feels like it's just a line. It feels like it's just right there, and there's not a whole lot of wiggle room to it. But recognizing, hey, they floated in to hit me with that move. So if I get this timing, if I get the parry perfect, they will be drifting into me, into my hitbox. And that up B out of shield, that is a fantastic out-of-shield option for Link in the first place, right? It's a kill move. It comes out very quickly. It is a great get-off-me tool, and we're already seeing ISOHEL use it. So just great recognition overall, and knowing that, okay, they're at a kill percentage. I can get away with this move and potentially end this game very, very quickly. Take down one member, and now all of a sudden, Danville, they're going to have to send in a new member here with already 3 members down. They're down to their final 2, and it feels like already kind of a long road back for them.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things to look at when we're running through these crew battles is that as you lose more people, you don't really have less stock, you have less chances to fight. You run out of options to deal with whatever the other team's going to throw at you. If you start off, you might have 2 players who are great counter picks against a Link. But once you get to this stage, you've used 3, you've knocked out 3, those people might not be here anymore. Oh, you want to go against the Link? Congratulations, you get to play Puff into it or something. Or you get to play like a fighting game character into the projectile hell that Link is going to put out. Like it gets really finicky, I feel like, when you're trying to kind of put round pegs into square holes.
It's interesting to me moving forward here because we saw, when we think about Links, right, we think about the, like you mentioned, the projectile games, the boomerangs, bombs, arrows, all coming through and being an intricate part of Link's kit. But ISOHEL looked like they were willing to scrap. They were willing to go in. We really didn't see much outside of the bomb used, and the bomb was just constantly being trapped at ledge. Arrow was never used. Boomerang, I think, might have been used once at the beginning, and that was it. And maybe that's part of the matchup, right? Isabel's got the pocket, got ways around those projectiles. But we'll have to see if that kind of strategy continues as they're going up against Toucan Jack here in this round. Toucan Jack, when I got the chance to talk with Toucan Jack, and they said that they didn't have a main. Like, they just basically clicked a random button. And so here, we get to see their Wolf take to the stage. Now, Wolf versus Link, this feels like a very scrappy matchup.
Yeah, especially with how Isa has been just focusing on the scrap or whatever else. I would say one of the best, the biggest parts of being good at a projectile character is being able to scrap, when it comes to it. I think that's a part that's forgotten a whole lot. Over-focus on the projectiles, not focusing on the scrap. Here, though, we're seeing ISOHEL really just focusing entirely on the scrap, and it's kind of working out for them. They're just so clean with every single hit that they put out.
Very, very strong right now. Only 19% dealt to ISOHEL. When the up B is going to get covered by the bomb once more. Another forward tilt. Off stage is Toucan Jack. He'll side B around those projectiles, be able to make it back to stage here. Another side B back on. Gets punished by the dash attack right now. And this is where things get very scary because Link has a lot of kill power in their kit here. And although Wolf isn't necessarily light, they will die at that much percentage. The forward tilt will do it outright. And ISOHEL continuing to build up this lead for the fight in Illini.
It's a bad time when you've got the symphony playing. Like, they've got the piano. It's bad. It's scary. The nerves are roughed. I don't know about you, but anytime that song comes on, my heart's
Why do I hear boss music? Why do I hear boss music? That's absolutely the case with this song. And right now, Toucan Jack trying to turn things around. 76 to 79 in terms of percentage. Toucan Jack does have the stage control for the moment. Great bomb recovery, though. And Toucan Jack, unprepared for it, is going to leave them kind of lost for options. Oh, rolling gets scouted out by the grab now. ISOHEL starting to get a couple of reads, and a lot of these high recoveries are getting scouted too. Down goes Toucan Jack, and ISOHEL takes up that next player, and solidly so. Couple of stocks taken via that forward tilt.
Yeah, I really think the big thing there was just the scout out on the recovery. A little bit too many times towards that side B, a little bit too heavy to commit. Using that for the recovery instead of maybe going for a low recovery, using that up B, something along those lines. And once that's found out that you want to land on stage, it's over. Like, you're done. You're getting carved through with that tilt.
Yeah, Wolf landing on stage, there's especially on moves like the up B and the side B, which are your most common options, there's a lot of end lag to those moves. And so even something like you saw, the Link dash attack, which is relatively slow, even though it's a long hitbox, it's out there for a while, it comes out pretty slowly, and that still has the time to catch Wolf landing and getting back up and getting to that next option. So it was just a tough spot when those high recoveries got scouted. And that's something that I think is really difficult for them to work around, right? Because you can use that side B to snap to the ledge, but we already saw how dangerous the bomb placement was, right? It felt like they had the bread and butter down in terms of getting that bomb on the ledge, and just Link in terms of ledge trapping, right? Just so many different options, so many ways they can just, cut you down in that corner. And that's what ISOHEL was very proficient at in their first game. Looked pretty solid here in game number 2. And now we'll have to see how they do up against Nuke, I believe, is stepping in here as one of the final members of Danville Area Community College.
The final member.
The final member.
We're
the last three stocks on this Zelda. Can they bring it back and get their first win here at the State Farm Center? That is the question. But ISOHEL is certainly looking
rude
strong.
to Link. That's not.
Missing the different stage. I think we're getting a different stage here.
Okay.
The button check will come through. So
this is just mean to Link, though. Like,
you got to fight against the princess you're rescuing.
They're already lost underground in Tears of the Kingdom. Now you're making them fight. This boy's traumatized. Like, come on.
Well, anything to get the W here at the LAN, right? I don't know about that one. Anyway.
Trauma can wait. I have to play Smash, Mom. I don't want to go to therapy.
Well, like we mentioned, it's going to be Nuke as the anchor here for Danville Area Community College, as Danville still looking for their first win. Again, Swiss pools, so even a loss here does not hurt them. They are not eliminated with a loss. They will still have games to play. But UIUC, their first game on stream, this is a very solid lead they've built up for themselves. That being said, on our previous match, we did see a very strong lead dissipate very quickly. So we'll see what Nuke can do here. Battlefield was the pick, but so far, very even right off the bat. I just wonder about things like that high recovery again, things like that up B back to stage. Feels like a lot of Zelda's options are very committal.
Yeah, and with the amount of projectiles that Link can give, some of those tilts, they're not the fastest thing in the game, but they're definitely not the slowest. There's so many different punish options. The thing that I'm surprised to see is we're not seeing a ton of those Zelda aerials really get in. Just a lot of focus on that, fire, on that knight coming out, from Phantom Hourglass. Big focus on those projectiles, which I love to see, but I feel like the aerials have to come in after them to get that full commitment,
And for now, battle for stage control on Nuke. Really up against it. Look at this. The reads are coming through now from ISOHEL. They're able to read a couple of these boomerangs and the angles that they cover. And just the stock is slowly getting chipped away at 86 right now. Jabs come through, make it 94. And it feels like Nuke just cannot find their footing in this matchup. They cannot find their way back into this battle, and that SD is certainly not going to help.
No, that's brutal. Doesn't find the recovery they're looking for. And that sends them on away. ISOHEL now really pressing in on the pressure for Nuke, not allowing that Zelda setups that you're really looking forward to. This brawl that ISOHEL has fully committed to is so ridiculous. This is not how Links are supposed to play. They're supposed to be slow, they're supposed to be methodical, they're supposed to trap, other players in. Instead, just taking the fight right to a Mike Tyson style. Are we sure we didn't see a Little Mac playing right there?
Very strong opening from the hometown team. The Fightin' Illini